Columbus, Ohio is probably as American as you can get, to the point that big fast food...
Welcome to another episode, everyone. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. This is when gangsters start invading and raiding the suburbs. Man, check this out. These young YNs wilding out here in the suburbs, going bananas.
Chains use it to test new products like a nuclear test site. It is the last place you expect to see major gang violence, especially in the suburbs. But today we're talking about something that caught a lot of people off guard between 2021 and now.
This is body camera footage from the Columbus Police Gang Unit's roundup earlier this month. The 16 men are facing a range of charges, from drug trafficking to attempted murder. Sergeant Sean Gruber says they also seized 56 firearms, large amounts of drugs, and more than $150,000.
How gang violence and car theft rings ended up turning some of Columbus's nicest suburbs into straight-up hotspots. We're talking Polaris, Easton, and Dublin, which, if you've ever been there, you'd know are places where soccer moms go outlet shopping on a Wednesday afternoon. But gangsters in Columbus realized they'd make a lot more money raiding rich parts instead of their own hoods. And that's exactly what's been going down. The story behind this shit is honestly wild.
Put your hands up!
We got a male black standing out.
Man up! Get back! Get back!
If we can get another cruiser up here, please. He's probably gonna jump over that fence.
Let me start with the gang that really put this whole situation on the map. BL 800. Now, when Columbus police started investigating this crew back in 2021, they realized pretty quickly that these weren't your typical street dudes. Detective Eric Claus, who was leading the investigation, said something that really stood out. They weren't the traditional drug dealer and operating a trap house street gang. In fact, they were so violent that other drug dealers wouldn't deal with them. That's how Columbus gangs had been operating for years, a lot of death and not much money. BL 800 was founded on the 800 block of Wedgwood Drive on Columbus's west side, specifically around the Wedgwood apartments, before spreading to the South Park apartments in South Franklin. According to police, Wedgwood was traditionally the most violent area in the entire city. They were getting double the amount of ShotSpotter alerts compared to anywhere else. But here's where it gets interesting for the suburbs. BL 800 wasn't just staying in their territory. Detective Claus explained their whole operation. They would mount up in cars full of guys and go to Easton, Tuttle, Polaris, and they would go through and try car handles. The raids started in 2021, during the COVID era, where the violence in Columbus almost doubled. BL 800 crews were rolling deep into shopping areas and hitting every car in the parking lot looking for unlocked doors. Guns, cash, whatever they could grab. By February 2024, police had arrested 21 members of BL 800, with 13 already convicted. They've continued making arrests since then, and violent crime at Wedgwood has dropped 40% after the crackdown, but the damage to those suburban areas can still be felt today. If you want to understand how crazy things got, just look at what happened at Polaris Fashion Place in March 2021. This mall saw 2 separate shootings in just 12 days. The first one went down on March 3rd around 12:30 in the afternoon inside a Oshkosh Bagosh store. Imagine seeing your op at a baby clothes store in a soccer mom hangout spot. It was a domestic dispute between Levon Somerville and Anthony Truss. Somerville fired at Truss at close range inside the store, then Truss followed him out into the mall and returned fire. People were shopping for kids' clothes in the middle of the day, and suddenly there's a shootout happening. Both dudes eventually fled to Georgia, got arrested, and ended up with sentences ranging from 11 to 17 years.
The Macy's. They entered the store, guns drawn, sticking together, eventually making their way into the main mall where you can see and hear them looking for possible victims and suspects, while also hearing about others in the mall hiding.
Before anyone could even process that shooting, it happened again.
So they both, it happened again. So they both strapped. One, they confront each other right there in broad daylight. Well, I'm assuming it's broad daylight in the store. Plenty of bright lights in there, in a department store, a kid's baby store. Confrontation ensues after they see one another. They confront one another verbally or what have you. Weapons are drawn. At least one of them drew a weapon, fired, and then the other individual who was fired upon followed him out of the mall and fired back at him. At least he didn't fire him in the mall, had the presence of mind to just follow him outside or something. That is much better. But they're going at it, these young dudes. Out in the suburbs, nevertheless. They're in the suburbs here. Yes, it's going to be a crackdown. As long as you're doing this sort of stuff in the ghetto, you're okay as far as the system is concerned. You take it out to the suburbs, your days are numbered.
March 15th, just 12 days later, around 3:15 p.m.
Here we go again.
They're shooting at the mall again.
3:19, police cars begin making their way.
Make sure you lock it.
Columbus police officers first search the second floor,
Second floor in front of Victoria's Secret.
Did you see anything, ma'am?
stopping anyone they spot walking around.
You guys see anything?
I heard the shooting happened lower level center court over by White House Black Market. We've had nothing up here. I've been up here since it happened.
Did you hear anything about a male black with a yellow sweater?
I've not heard any suspect description, sir, no.
They're looking for the individuals in these new pictures released Wednesday night.
This time it was a confrontation between two groups of young people that escalated in a first-floor atrium area. Arshad Jameer Lawson fired multiple shots. One bullet even grazed someone's arm. Lawson ended up getting 11 to 15 years in prison. The response from regular people at the mall was telling. Sue Neagle and Linda Jones, two women who walked the mall 3 times a week for exercise, told reporters they were worried. "Should I come back at night?" one of them asked. That's the kind of area Polaris is, if you couldn't already tell. The shootings didn't stop there either. On March 11th, 2022, Jonathan Myers took to the busy I-71 passing in North Polaris and started shooting random cars in passing lanes. Myers had drug charges out against him, and when cops pulled up, he shot at them too till the cops gunned him down. Myers survived, though, and was arrested at the scene. Then there was the Topgolf incident in February 2020.
Jeez, where the hell that's at? He survived. He's shooting at passing cars, just cars driving on the freeway, going home from work, heading to work, what have you, shooting at them, and then when the cops pull up, he starts shooting at the cops. And then you see him running on the freeway with the weapon in tow, out in the open, brandishing the weapon. They shot him down, but somehow he survived. He had something on his side, someone on his side, some sort of miracle of sorts to survive that. I'm assuming they hit him quite a few times, considering he's armed and dangerous out there shooting at people. They got that call that he was out there randomly shooting at individuals, passersby. They had to go and eliminate that threat to the public. And then he started shooting at them. Certainly a direct threat now upon their lives. And then he's running, brandishing a weapon, almost pointing it back at them, pointing it in the sky or whatever it just looked like. They shot him, but he survived. Woo, these dudes out here wilding out.
23. Davin Rayford, a 28-year-old who was on supervised release for a robbery charge, got into an altercation while there, went to his car, grabbed a Glock 9mm, and started firing at his rival in the parking lot, which was full of other customers just trying to enjoy their day. He ran, and the next day got wasted in a car with 5 Gs and dealer-level drugs, and crashed. It couldn't be more comically worse for Rayford, who got 10 years in federal prison. Fast forward to July 9th, 2025, and you've got 19-year-old Elijah Roberts catching an aggravated murder charge after allegedly shooting 26-year-old Joseph Suter near the Target on Polaris Parkway. Police said it stemmed from a drug deal that afternoon. Police then learned that Roberts and his friends Ali Mustaf Muhammad and Michael Bernard Cheney attempted to rob Suter before shooting him. Suter got shot outside an apartment building behind the Polaris Target, leapt in his car, crashed into some trees, and died at the scene.
Damn, crashed and died at the scene. But all of the drug deal going bad. But all of this stuff is apparently done in broad daylight. Not that that's anything new, but it seems like all of these shootings are happening in broad daylight and at establishments. That happens everywhere, of course, but not just normally. Normally you go to someone's hood or whatever and do a drive-by and all of this nonsense. But happening at department stores and behind parking lots in daylight with civilians out and about, crowded areas, and just having shootouts in the suburbs. Man, they finna get y'all off of these streets. Y'all tripping. In the suburbs? Nah, y'all out of there.
Violence wasn't just concentrated at Polaris. Over in Dublin, at the Tuttle Crossing Mall, things were getting just as wild. Tuttle Mall used to be a pretty popular spot a few decades back, but it's died since then, and partly because of gang activity. In October 2019, Scene 75 Entertainment Center, this big arcade and entertainment spot, became the location of a massive gang fight. Members of a gang called Everything King Turk rolled up and attacked a rival gang inside the venue. EKT formed around 2015 as a subset of the Crips called the Windsor Terrace Posse, who formed at the Windsor Terrace homes in Dayton, Ohio.
They're attacking staff at the second floor. It's being evacuated right now. It's escalating.
How many people are fighting?
At least it's like 6, 7 on 1, 2.
The two EKT members who rolled up, Sean Gardner Jr. and Jermaine Lamar Lathan, ended up convicted on charges including participating in a criminal gang, aggravated riot, and inducing panic. Then in June 2022, Tuttle saw an even deadlier incident. Tyrone Gray Jr. got into an argument with Dentarius Sylvester at the Soul Stop shoe store. According to Gray's own 911 call, Sylvester hit him with a purse, and Gray responded by pulling out a gun and shooting him multiple times. Sylvester died at the scene. James Berry, who was shopping for shoes when it happened, said he saw a man get shot in the head, and then everyone just started running over each other trying to escape. It was the middle of the afternoon on a Sunday. After the shooting, stores went on lockdown and the whole mall basically shut down for a bit. Beyond the shootings, the car theft situation in Polaris, Ohio is probably the worst.
And, you know, we see these sort of incidents all the time. We all have to be careful, not justifying anything, not taking any one side, being neutral here. Everyone needs to be careful. Keep your hands to yourself. We see video after video on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and such of individuals socking someone, punching someone, hitting someone with some sort of object, and the person pulling out a weapon and opening fire. That's it, period. So take it how you want to take it. They're pulling out, and people are sending the comment, hey, keep your hands to yourself. You got to be careful. You don't know who you're approaching, who you're swinging on, what you're doing. Right. Dude swung on him with a purse, you know, barely hit him or looked like grazing him, knock him out, knock him down, or any of that, but doesn't matter. Didn't matter to him. Don't take my word for it. You see it for yourself. It didn't matter to him. He put out a weapon and opened fire on him right there, shot him multiple times, and he died right there where he swung the purse at him.
Part. In July 2025, about 40 trucks got hit during the Good Guys Summit Racing Car Show at a Hilton near Polaris. These were people from Michigan, Detroit, all over Ohio coming down for a car show, and they woke up to smashed windows and stolen property. What's crazy is, it happened 2 nights in a row. The first night, 17 trucks got broken into. The second night, another 10. And this is with security supposedly patrolling the parking lots. Victims said the thieves were specifically looking for guns, leaving behind laptops and other valuables. The whole incident left people questioning whether they'd ever bring their vehicles back to Columbus. These were dedicated car enthusiasts who'd been coming to this show for years, and now they're saying they won't return because of the crime. And it wasn't just random thieves. In January 2025, 2 teens with extensive criminal histories, including violent felonies, got caught near Polaris after stealing multiple vehicles. One of them fled in a second stolen car after the first one was spotted. So what does all this mean? Well, Detective Claus explained it pretty clearly when talking about the BL 800 arrests. It makes a gigantic difference. That same guy is breaking into your car at Tuttle Mall. The same guy is breaking into your car at Easton or Polaris. The gang members operating out of Wedgwood and South Park weren't staying in their neighborhoods. They were taking the violence and the theft operations to the suburbs because that's where the money was. Easier targets, more valuable cars, and people who might not be as alert to what's going on. Columbus police have been working hard to crack down on it. By 2024, they'd arrested 69 gang members overall, recovered 122 firearms, and made 177 felony arrests. The 40% reduction in violent crime at Wedgwood shows the efforts are working. But the impact on places like Polaris, Tuttle, and Easton has been real. The reality is that gang violence and organized theft don't—
These dudes out here tripping. A lot of, they, like I said, you're doing this sort of stuff in the suburbs, they're going to come and get you. They're going to come and arrest you. They're going to crack down heavy on you. You're doing it in the hood and in the ghetto, you got a chance. They don't care. But you're doing it there, you're asking for a big trouble. These YNs out here wilding out in the suburbs, broad daylight shootouts, breaking in these cars. These dudes tripping.
respect neighborhood boundaries or zip codes. When crews like BL 800 decide the suburbs are their target, it affects everyone, including the gangsters themselves, who are now facing prison time for the car break-ins. That's the situation with gang violence in suburban Columbus. It caught a lot of people by surprise, but the receipts are there. Multiple shootings, dozens of arrests, and hundreds of car break-ins. It's a reminder that nowhere is automatically safe just because of where it's located on a map. The crime spree in Polaris has slightly calmed down, but not by much. The car thefts are still sky high. Between March and April 12th of 2022, 47 cars in Polaris were broken into or stolen, with stolen cars being used later for other car break-ins. Stay safe out there, y'all, and maybe double check that your car doors are locked the next time you hit up Polaris.
The next time you hit up anywhere, make sure your car doors are locked and make sure you're safe and don't take any situation or anything for granted because people are out here wilding out everywhere. But there you have it. Let me know what you think in the comments. They out here wilding out in the suburbs, having broad daylight shootouts, as we just witnessed, multiple of them, multiple. And baby clothing stores, behind parking lots and all of this stuff, in malls, breaking into cars in broad daylight. I mean, these dudes out here wilding. And then dude running on he's just shooting at passing cars, and then that can be anyone that's just driving in on the freeway. And then shoots at the police when they pull up, and then he runs off toting a gun in the air, and he's lucky to still be alive. And fortunately, he didn't take someone's life. It doesn't sound like, didn't look like, when he was shooting at innocent passersby on the freeway. Wow. Everyone be safe. Everyone be careful and be safe. Protect yourself. Protect your family. And you young dudes, whomever you are, wherever you are, get a job. Stop robbing people. Stop breaking into stuff. Stop hurting each other, because it's not going to end well for you. If they're not telling you this, I'm going to tell you it's not going to end well. You're going to end up in prison or in a cemetery. Those are the only two options. It's the truth. It's not worth it. Go to school, develop yourself, develop your skills, cultivate your skills, and you'll be fine. Stay free, stay safe, and stay free, people.